Folks, 2023 is come and gone, and we've got plenty to talk about as we trek deeper into 2024. Let's get you up to speed on the real estate market and how it's shaping up this year versus last year, shall we? First and foremost, you may have read the headlines, but interest rates spiked up around the 8% mark in October. But since then, rates have trickled back down toward the 6.5% mark, falling at the fastest rate that they've fallen since the 2008 crash. The Federal Reserve had a goal to tame U.S. inflation down to the 2% level from the 9.1% highs that we saw in June 2022. Now it's sitting closer to that 2 to 3% range, which is right on par with their goal. That is a huge success. Now, has it been a little bit choppy with the Fed raising interest rates like crazy up to this point? Yes, it has. But in the meantime, they were narrowly able to avoid a U.S. recession, at least up until this point. And now they're officially projecting rate cuts heading into the new year. So that's a big part of why we're seeing mortgage rate cuts right now, because of the overall projection that the Fed has more or less reached its goal to tame inflation. Now, does this mean that we're completely out of the woods here with the high interest rates? No, it does not. They're not going to let rates drop all at once, because then the markets would become an absolute frenzy again, and everyone and their mother would come out of the woodwork to buy a piece of property. But it likely means that we're looking at that 5 to 7% mortgage rate range in 2024, which is a lot more affordable and easier to digest than what we were looking at in late 2023. Now, just to paint a picture to help illustrate what I'm talking about here, the monthly mortgage on a $300,000 house at a 7% interest rate is about $2,050 per month. And at 8%, that payment jumps up to about $2,215 per month. Now, that's $165 a month cheaper. So as you can see, now that rates are dropping below that 7% mark, it's becoming more affordable for buyers across the board and will continue to do so as they continue dropping. Now, before we get off the interest rate conversation, I'll leave you with this. 2024 is also an election year, and historically, interest rates tend to drop during election years. So I would anticipate the combination of these two things to bode very well for home buyers and sellers in 2024, especially compared to a 2023 where rates were fairly elevated and on the rise for most of the year. Now let's break into the meat and potatoes here, shall we? Home prices rose 4.3% on average across the Louisville market between 2022 and 2023, which is pretty awesome. Now that's great news for all property owners out there, because it shows some serious resiliency for our cozy little market during a year that really wasn't a great housing market year. A lot of people waited on the sideline for rates to drop, and prices still rose. This is in large part due to the less than optimal inventory levels to satisfy that pent-up demand that was left over from the last few years. Now, just to help illustrate that low inventory, there were 14,519 total residential properties that sold in 2023 versus 17,282 properties that sold in 2022. That's about a 16% drop in the number of homes that sold in the area from 2022 to 2023. So less sales overall, but prices are still rising. That's a win. So for all the home buyers looking to buy in 2024, what does this mean for you? First and foremost, what it means is that you'll likely be able to secure a mortgage rate that's more affordable than what you would have been able to secure in 2023. It also means we'll likely see more inventory hit the market this year for you to choose from as more sellers decide to list their properties. More selection and more affordable payments. Now, the catch with that is that we'll likely see a spike in home buyer demand as more buyers come out of the woodwork to take advantage of those same things, so the competition likely will become a little bit more stiff than it was in 2023. Now, there's plenty of tricks to help your offer stand out and get accepted when there's more competition at the table, so it's more important than ever for you to be working with a great agent that knows those tactics to help get your offer accepted. Not to toot my own horn here, but I got an offer accepted for a buyer last year that had 60 other offers on the table. So if you're thinking about buying in 2024, definitely reach out to me. I'd be happy to share my secrets and help get you started. Now for the home sellers, this is going to be a great year for you as well, because as those interest rates continue to creep lower, the home sale prices are going to creep higher. And as I said before, there will be more buyers in the market looking for their next home, so we're likely going to start seeing more competitive bidding processes than we saw in 2023. That means with the right presentation and marketing strategy, you could be looking at a quicker and easier sale at a higher sale price to get you cashed out and moved on to the next place quicker. I'm anticipating the average days on market that it takes for a property to sell to drop a decent bit in 2024 from what we saw in 2023. So if you're thinking about selling in 2024, I'd be happy to help you strategize and make that a success as well. All this to be said, folks, yes, I think 2024 is going to be a stronger real estate market than 2023, but no, I don't think we're going to be looking at the Wild West like we saw in the 2021 and 2022 markets. Hell, we don't want to be looking at that. It wasn't healthy, and houses are not supposed to appreciate in value at 20% every year. With that being said, there are still areas in Louisville that have the potential to do that in 2024. So in closing, let's take a look at an appreciation map and size up 5 different neighborhoods that saw some of the strongest growth in 2023 to help guide your shopping in 2024. Now, first off, when you look at the pink and red areas, don't assume those neighborhoods are in trouble. It actually just means they're closer to the Louisville average of 4.3%. So areas like the 40205 and 40207 zips with 5 to 5.5% growth, still very strong and in great shape here. But check out the 40217 zip code, for example, with 7.7% growth. Germantown, Schnitzelburg, and Parkway Village are in that mix, and I would expect to see those areas continuing to trend upward in 2024. 40214 is another section that did very well in 2023, seeing 6.7% growth. And just to its left there, you'll see the 40215 zip code rose 9.6% year over year. Super hot area there just west of the University of Louisville. That's an area that's beautiful and more affordable. And with rates being higher, I think a lot of buyers started looking over that way to offset those higher borrowing costs. Something to keep in mind. The 40204 zip code is a nice neutral color, and as you can see, it saw a beautiful 6% rise in sale prices in 2023, and directly to its left, the 40203 zip code saw an 11.1% rise. Whoa. Areas like Shelby Park, Old Louisville, and Smoketown make up much of that mix, and again, are generally more affordable alternatives to more expensive neighboring areas. More buyers are clearly seeking less expensive alternatives to help offset with those interest rates. And folks, there you have it. There's plenty to be excited about in the 2024 real estate market. And outside of the scary headlines, things went pretty well in the Louisville area despite some uncertainty along the way. So if you or anyone you know is thinking about buying, selling, or investing in real estate in 2024, I would love to be your realtor. I'd love to help make that as smooth, successful, and fun of a process as possible. So don't hesitate to reach out to me anytime. My number is 502-500-6469. And in the meantime, hope everybody has a great start to 2024, and I'll talk to everybody soon.